let's just take a breath and show up in the room. Let your senses take in the entire environment in front of you. The key to shifting quickly is to relinquish any expectations of the moment. Any expectations of how time is going to move. Somebody is asking, can we talk about freedom and what it really means to be free? Absolutely, that's a great topic. Let your day come to a stop. Make friends with awkward silence. And slow yourself down so that your perception can capture more and more of this actual breathing moment. This moment that exists without your storytelling. And if you're listening, you'll hear the sound of the silence come ringing in. You've stopped using your energy to hold this moment in place, and so it's just aggregating as potential energy, ringing all around you, waiting for your attention to get trapped again. Waiting, listening, available. That's the sound of the silence. The experience of knowing it. It feels like you become fluent in it and it becomes fluent in you. As you listen to it, it listens to you. hear it magnifying. Listen with your ears, your skin, your eyes. Attend to this moment. Now let's step directly into that silence. Place your attention at the forehead and crown. Eyes open, just let them fall to a spot on the floor in front of you or on the wall or on the desk in front of you. And begin to breathe. And see if you can make every inch of that breath tuned in to the silence ringing all around you. Let there be no moment where your attention is diverted. At first, you might have to use a little bit of effort, but eventually, to sustain it, you just have to let go into it and make it your home. Then you can be there effortlessly. Effort is concentration. Effortless is meditation. And the longer you stay in meditation, the more your energy structure rearranges to have deeper and deeper experiences of reality. So let's do that now. Forehead and crown, eyes open, and listen gently with every fiber of your being. Don't turn it into a story. Just do it. Breathe in a room and nothing else. Let it be enough. Any attainment comes on its own. You can't make it happen. It just comes as a product of you being your authentic self. There's a little bit of a busyness moving through. Do yourself a favor. From your lower abdomen, just drop an anchor into the earth. Just let it fall deep into the earth and find its perfect spot. Heavy steel, straight down. You can just let all your busyness ground out down that anchor. You stay at your forehead and crown. Now get really quiet inside. Make yourself small, quieter than the moment. Make your mind quieter than the breath. so that you can hear what's left. Somebody asked tonight if we could talk about freedom. Freedom's an important concept in spiritual life. Most people think that that's what they're looking for. You know, it's just like most people think they're looking for money. They don't realize that money is only worth what you spend it on. Freedom is kind of like that. Early in life, if you were to ask yourself, freedom to do what? It's freedom to do what I want to do. Freedom to eat a pizza and watch TV. Freedom to get the job I want. Or the partner you want. From a spiritual perspective, it's important that you go for the things that you say you want. But not for the reason that you think. It's important to go for them because until you've had them, you won't know that they're not the answer you're looking for. And they'll sit there distracting you. Whatever your personal mountain is, you do need to actually climb it. And it's different for each of us. But it's not until you've hit a few peaks of that mountain that you realize The question isn't freedom to do what? The question is, what am I trying to get free from? Freedom from what? You realize that because part of you, when you're really going for something that you want, there are parts of it that are just beyond your current nature. And so you really have to stretch yourself in uncomfortable ways. You know, anyone who's ever taken up a new exercise routine knows what I'm talking about. You as a being that can chooses that. Chooses maybe to get healthy or to lose weight or whatever. And as you go about trying to make that change, you are met with a formidable force that wants to keep you exactly where you're at. Surely everybody in this room has met that force at one time or another. Anything you didn't go after, it's the reason you didn't go after it. That thing that comes up and is just like, you don't want to do that. But it doesn't say you don't want to do that. What it says is, I don't want to do that. And it says it in your voice. And it makes you believe that it's you. And it has such a hold on you that the easiest thing you can do is give into it, and the hardest thing you can do is push against it. So freedom from what? Freedom from that. Freedom from that force that knows if you stray too far outside of its bounds, you'll stop feeding it with your attention and you'll become something different. Part of the reason that it's so afraid is that the few times in a human life where you've expanded beyond yourself without actively trying, it came through some shocking loss. The death of a loved one, maybe, or realizing that someone didn't love you the way you thought they did, and it changed your sense of self. Or maybe you had a child and you completely lost all of the rituals of comfort and things that you were used to, and your biochemistry was completely hijacked. But that's its experience of change. It's linked to trauma. And so it has a sense of knowing with great certainty that your best case scenario is to just do roughly the same thing, think roughly the same things, have roughly the same gripes today as you had yesterday, to maintain a status quo. freedom is freedom from that. Now, how does that present? It presents as a voice in your head that talks to you all day long. Explaining this world to you. Telling you who everybody is and what they're capable of. Telling you where all your limitations are, what you're good at and what you're bad at. What you can expect, what you can't expect. And again, it does it all in your voice. And almost every statement begins with I am. I am, or they are. This is. Fundamental statements about the nature of everything around you, until it all becomes hardened and appears so real that it seems like a major imposition for someone to think you should get unstuck from it. Some paths of shamanism call this energy the parasite, others the ego. Others the inner dialogue. But what all of these things have in common is a recognition that you are not that voice. Meditation greases the wheels of separation from you and that voice. As you sit in the silence, you are making a choice and the voice comes in, and you can see that if you are choosing silence and the voice is choosing for you to plan your dinner or complain about a coworker or worry about some financial concern, in that clarity you can see that you are not that voice. You are this silent, ringing backdrop in which the voice is speaking. And so you spend some time with your attention off of the dictates of the voice, because it's trying to direct your attention. It's mostly using fear to do it. And so fear and worry and concern and want, need, those things magnify and feed the voice because you give them your attention, because it tells you to. In meditation, we let the voice be the voice. We don't play with it. We let the voice be the voice. You make a different choice. Choose to be the watcher of your breath, or the chanter of a mantra, or the scourer of a dish. Scourer. Any conscious choice will do. And a battle ensues. One that you are getting better and better at going through every time you come here. We get to the silence faster and faster. But that's a battle of the voice putting pressure on you, making you uncomfortable, making you think you need to get up or do something else or play with some idea to pass the time. And you just return to your breath. You don't push against it. You don't do anything with it. You just return. It wants you to push against it. It wants to engage you. You just don't engage. It can be there. It doesn't have to go anywhere. But if you stop feeding it after a while, it stops talking. And what you're left with is you in a state of freedom. That's the peace you feel when you come to a class like this. And it changes everything. It rewires you so that even when the voice returns, it can't touch the same things it could touch before. It even changes the way the world responds to you. Because there's more of your authentic, true self taking residence in their body. So that's freedom. At first, to the mind, it looks like you're walking something very narrow, like your world is getting smaller. But when you actually let go into it, you realize that your world is becoming vast. And that actually you had been living the same few days over and over and over again, listening to the dictates of the voice. But don't take my word for it. You need to see it for yourself. Are there any questions about that before we go back into meditation? Okay. You bet, Anna. So make a choice right now to shift your attention to this moment. Doesn't matter what else is going on. Nothing has to change. You just stop playing with it. Let your eyes take in the entire room at once. Release your sense of time. Time is a tricky way that voice speaks to you. Be here as if you've always been here and will always be here. Attention at the forehead and crown. Just breathe freely in this room. Nothing to plan, nothing to achieve. Nothing to understand. It's already completed. Just sit in it. Open up into it. You have a choice to carry the stress of your day into this moment uselessly, or you can completely relinquish it and just be free of the story. Choose. Choosing is like exercising a muscle. Only your true self really has a choice. Choosing is a divine act. You think you choose throughout the day, but almost all of it is done for you. When life says laugh, you laugh. When life says cry, you cry. When the voice says you are hungry, you eat. When the voice says you're mad, you fume. But in meditation, the difference between a choice that was made for you and you actually choosing becomes clear. It's night and day. It's a choice that opens you up into yourself. And the more you do it, the more resilient your true self is to the parasite. Eventually, you make that parasite your pet. It tells you you have to control everything in your world. And then it links you into a world of chaos where everybody else's parasites are trying to control everything too. Let go of that control. Just show up for the moment. Let it be whatever it is. And you'll be sitting in your freedom. Now tonight you're going to enter back into your world. You're going to step back into stories because you share lives with people. How are you going to stay free within that? You're going to set all of it free. The person sitting on the sofa next to you, the walls of your apartment or your house, the actors on the TV, the images of conversations you had earlier where you're questioning how you were received, the conversations that are coming up, the cells of your physical body, all of it. You're going to let it be whatever it needs to be, and you're not going to decide. Give it its freedom, and you will be free. Don't believe me? Try it. If you let go of the floor in front of you, it starts to move, and you realize you've been holding it in place with your mind, controlling it. The whole room in front of you starts to move and wiggle a little when you let it go. You've been using energy to hold it in place. Set it free. If somebody isn't thinking about you correctly, let them think whatever they want to think. Let life sort it out. If someone is taking steps that you don't agree with, and it's not directly on your plate to fix it, let them do what they need to do. They'll learn their lessons, and you'll be free. You'll know if there's something you need to do about it because life will put it directly on your lap. And then you'll just respond with honesty and power. And the reason that you'll have power is because you didn't spend the 2 hours prior trying to control a co-worker's conversation from 2 weeks ago. Do you see? That part of you isn't in the past, it's here and now. Work with that tonight and write yourself a little reminder to work with that this week. Set the world around you free. Any questions about that before we end for the night? everybody. I'll see you next Thursday. Good job. Have a good week. Thank you.